So, as Nottingham Forest close in on their final pre-season friendly against Al Qadsiya this weekend, it's time to really look at that squad and think where else needs to be improved, who needs to come in and where. And especially when pre-season, just to say, not even saying it's a problem, just throwing it out there, hasn't been the best or the most exciting. We've drawn 4 games 0-0 and only scored 1 goal in 6 games. But also, we've only conceded 4 times. So, a lack of goals, but very solid at the back it seems. Which is a bit weird because when you look at the team, where's the thinnest area of the squad now? It's fullback. I suppose it shows just how good Ola Aina and Nico Williams are, but when we've seen David Carmo, I don't know why I said him first, but Carmo, Abbott, Murato, Cunha, they've all played at fullback at some point this pre-season. Now I know that's what pre-season's all about, you're going to get players playing all over the place, but it does suggest quite a lot that we are quite weak in that position. And we're not even being linked with any fullbacks, which is a bit of a concern, so hopefully we see that change. But before we talk about players who are being linked with Forest, let's talk about a confirmed deal in the last week. And I hope you're sitting down watching this video because it's a big one. It's a big one. Nottingham Forest have officially signed Angus Gunn from Norwich City. It's actually a free transfer, but that's the club that he last played at. I hope you see what I mean by exciting, sit down, because we've just signed a backup goalkeeper. It probably suggests that Miguel is on his way out of the club, and is Aaron Bott then going to be the third choice? I wouldn't be surprised if we did that, because he also would count towards that homegrown quota, which we're going to need in Europe. But as for Angus Gunn, he's been a very solid goalkeeper over his career, normally in the Championship with Norwich for a number of years, played over 170 times for them, played for Southampton and played for Stoke, initially started at Man City as a youth player, so he's been about a bit. Despite being a solid keeper for Norwich over the years, he has been a bit hot and cold, so that might suggest why Norwich decided to not keep him on any longer. So do we want to bring in another keeper and have Angus Gunn as third choice? He's only signed a year contract. We'll wait and see on that, but overall I'm pretty happy with this. But in more interesting and exciting news, and back to the attacking areas of the pitch, we've seen Omari Hutchinson officially become a Forest target in the last few days. We've seen a £35 million bid be rejected for the attacking midfielder / winger, which could be very useful. And Omari Hutchinson was a shining light in a relegated Ipswich side, and somebody who a lot of clubs would be interested in. Brentford are one of those clubs. I don't think we're done with this one, but I don't think Forest would really want to go too far, especially having spent a lot on Dan Ndoye. And if Forest want to afford the wages as well as a loan fee or even permanent fee for Douglas Luiz, then that might also be a reason to maybe not pursue Hutchinson. We've seen this rumour going about all year, so it's a clear long-term target for us, and I would be very happy if we saw this happen. It would be a lovely, I don't know why I said that word, but a great replacement for Danilo. And I don't even know if it'd be a direct replacement for Danilo, but it just fills that gap just nicely. And somebody who could really take our midfield to another level. Of course, was a star for Aston Villa before he moved to Juventus. Hasn't really worked for him over there. He's clearly keen on returning to England. There's been so many clubs interested in Douglas Luiz, and we continue to really push our interest. But it's been a bit weird how it's been reported. We're not even sure if it's close or not, despite seeing reports saying that it is, close to being agreed. We're yet to see it really get going. But thank you to Match Bingo for sponsoring this video. What's Match Bingo? Well, I'll tell you. Match Bingo combines sports betting, bingo and football all into one app. It's like normal bingo but with football, so more interesting, right? Over £200,000 has been paid out to players so far. And the deal for this game is buy 4, get 1 free. I can't really walk off camera because there's a wall. So please make sure you check out Match Bingo in time for your team's next game. I'm presuming it's Nottingham Forest. You can check it out by clicking the link at the top of the description or clicking the QR code on screen right now. Thank you to Match Bingo for sponsoring this video, and onwards. Speaking of midfielders, we're also being linked in the last few days with Mads Binstrup from Strasbourg, probably somebody who you're not too aware of, and I won't lie, I'm not too aware of him either, so this is going to be a very in-depth report on the player. He did play for Brentford before he joined Salzburg, and I do remember him playing for Brentford. Only played 14 times for them though, so yeah, it's not really much to go off. But from what I can tell, he is an all-rounder. He's not somebody who's going to be a dedicated number 10 or number 6. He's just somebody who can do maybe a bit of everything, and that might be what we need, somebody who's kind of an everything man. From what I've heard, he's probably most similar to maybe a Dominguez. Very energetic, pressing light player, exactly like Dominguez. He's also the captain of Salzburg, so that's got to be a good thing too. Now, another rumour in that I've seen in the last few days is a player who, again, I'm not all that aware of. I'm so good at educating you, aren't I? Daerling Bakwa from Strasbourg, a right winger, 22 years of age. We've apparently had a €28 million bid rejected for this player, and was very prolific for Strasbourg and played a big part in them qualifying for Europe last season. There's interest from Leeds, and his contract runs till 2027, and he's played 6 times for France's under-21s. So that's pretty much all I can say about him. Strasbourg want more than €28 million. Is it worth it? Again, it's a bit like Omari Hutchinson. Are we going to go big on another player off the back of spending a lot of money on Dan Doy? It is pretty early days with Bakwa though. I hope I'm saying his name correct. It's quite a new rumour, so let's just see how that one develops. So let's look at some rumours out and a couple of confirmed deals that have left the club this week. Jota, of course, we've been talking about him all window to possibly be leaving Forest, even though he's played in every friendly and had to start a lot of them, because at the start of pre-season he was one of only 2 wingers we had. Well, Sporting continued to have interest in Jota Silva. This could be a loan. It could even be permanent. It's looking more likely to be a loan. If it is a loan, I'd be less keen on selling him. I'd rather us just sell him permanently. And I just think right now, we've only got 3 wingers. We're going to need a 4th one. Do we want to then bring in 2 wingers and have a complete reset, bar Hudson Odoi? I've already said I wouldn't mind him staying as a depth player, but I think others will be very keen to see him go. So it's a hot and cold one, this. Some people are going to have different opinions. Another rumour that we've seen in the last week is connected to Douglas Luiz story, and in my opinion, this would make the whole transfer kind of redundant. But there's a report saying that if we do sign Douglas Luiz, Juventus want Ibrahim Sangare in return. I wouldn't be all that happy about this. As a player, I'm not going to be devastated if Sangare left, but we are starting to see maybe a better version of him, and it could be a big season for him. So I'd be a lot more keen to see Sangare stay, but I just think it would kind of defeat the object of signing another midfielder if you're then going to let that midfielder that you've currently got go, because then you're going to need to sign somebody else, and you're kind of back to where you started almost. Yeah, that's all we've really got. It doesn't really have much legs at the moment. I hope we don't see that one happen. And to end the video, 2 confirmed deals when it comes to the youth academy. We've seen Dale Taylor officially leave the club, joining Blackpool on a permanent deal. He has been loaned out a number of times, but by far his most successful loan was last season at Wigan. He won their Player of the Season award. So, you know, he had a fantastic year. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go back to Wigan Athletic. But Blackpool is where he's going, and I really hope he does well in his career because he looks like a really promising player. I'm kind of surprised we sold him permanently because he's probably one of the youth players that stood even the remotest of chances of getting into the first team, and maybe with that homegrown rule might have been tempting, but ultimately he's never going to play a lot of games for Forest. He's never going to really get into our team, especially when we're going to be competing at the level we want to be at. So probably the right move. Dale Taylor joined Blackpool permanently. And we've also seen Josh Powell be loaned out this week to Colchester. We've already seen Ben Perry join Colchester on a permanent deal this window, so Powell is going to join him for at least this season. Very good young player, played a number of times in pre-season for us. Again, another one that I think it's inevitable we just see him leave permanently, probably next summer. So yeah, it's another player that I just don't see us ever really developing into a first teamer, but somebody that is a very solid player and somebody that deserves a loan. And one other confirmed deal this week is Matt Turner has officially left Forest, joining Lyon on a permanent deal. That is about time and long overdue that we've seen Turner leave the club. He was obviously at Palace last season, where he seemed to do fairly well when he did play, but he certainly didn't have a place for us. He's actually joined New England Revolution on loan from Lyon, so he's not even going to actually play for them. But thank you, Matt Turner. We'll never forget you. So everyone, please let me know your thoughts in the comments on everything I've spoken about in this video and everything that's going on in the build up to the new season starting. We are, well, nearly a week to go now until it all kicks off. And we're going to want to be a little bit more complete than what we are right now, ideally. Get your thoughts in the comments, everyone, and up the Reds. Thanks for watching.